Hey, what's buddy? Welcome back to News Dose. And have you ever noticed that when there's excitement around the Xbox brand, that's usually when quote-unquote leakers that you rarely hear about come to play and then they claim bad things are on the way? Well, that happened over the weekend and, well, it also seemingly got debunked, which we'll briefly go over today. But the bigger thing that I want to talk about is the idea that Satya Nadella is fully behind the new Xbox CEO and the Xbox brand itself. So stick around and we're going to get into all of that. But first, I do want to thank my supporters on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Thank you just so much for what you do, and you will receive this video through early access. Let's go get right to things, though, starting off with Pickmon, and yes, you heard that correct. This is a brand new game that was just revealed, and yeah, it looks oddly familiar. It's almost a blend of Palworld and Pokemon. I mean, clearly, they took some inspiration from, let's just say, several Pokemon monsters in this case, and that's the thing, because they're not even trying to hide it. I mean, if you look at the box art, it has a clone right on the front of one of the most beloved, iconic Pokemon characters of all time, being Charizard. And then if you look who's riding on top of, Teemu Charizard, it's basically Breath of the Wild Link. And I mean, Nintendo is going to have a heyday with this. Nintendo is by far the most litigious company that I know of. I mean, not only are they in an active lawsuit against Palworld for a very similar reason, but they're quite literally trying to sue the United States government as well. So, yeah, I hope their lawyers are prepared for what's to come, because I'm sure Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are not going to take this reveal lightly. Now, speaking of Pokemon, Pokopia is every bit as big as, really, nobody expected. I mean, honestly, most people wrote this game off the moment that it was revealed. But here we are, and it's seemingly a massive hit. It's one of the highest rated Pokemon games of all time, and now it's actually flying off shelves. It's been selling out across multiple retailers online, which is actually really interesting from the perspective that it is a game keycard. So its success has opened up a new debate in whether or not game keycards are actually bad or not. I can make a whole separate video for that topic, but clearly the boycott against keycards aren't exactly working, and I'll just simply leave it at that. However, it's been selling out incredibly fast, and so much so that there was even a point when Amazon raised the price to $80. Now, they reversed that later on, whether that be because it was just an error or if it was, just a lot of backlash over that attempt. But clearly, this game is having a lot of success, and it really wouldn't surprise me at all if it puts up similar numbers to the Legends series or maybe even the mainline of Pokemon games later down the road. I'm not saying that's going to happen immediately, but these cozy style of games do tend to sell for years and years and years. So if it starts to attract a similar audience to, let's say, games like Animal Crossing and Minecraft, I mean, this could actually end up being an evergreen title for the Switch too. Oh, and Monster Hunter Stories 3 will be out later this week on March 13th. And, well, reviews have been rolling out today, and just wow, Capcom continues their hot streak. Just a few short weeks after they released a Game of the Year contender in Resident Evil Requiem, here they have yet another game that will likely be up for some awards later in the year, or at least according to critics. It currently has an 86 overall score on Metacritic, and it's being described as the best entry in the entire series, and this is actually a really solid spin-off franchise. It's often described as Pokemon meets Monster Hunter, but it still has its own identity, and this one specifically has great production value. It really looks outstanding, especially on some of these higher-end devices. And even though these are technically Monster Hunter games, I actually feel like they appeal to people even if they don't care for the mainline series. So if you like JRPGs, then you might want to give this one a try. Once again, though, and I think it's pretty easy to say by this point, but Capcom is absolutely the best publisher/developer, and I don't even think it's close by this point. All right, now let's just go and talk about Xbox, though, because there's a lot to cover, and I want to first start off with this Sneakers So rumor. This was blowing up online all weekend long, and It's basically a quote-unquote insider from, I believe, Resetera or NeoGAF that once upon a time leaked the idea that some Xbox games were going to go multi-platform. Now, this persona also suggested last year that Xbox is done with hardware, so clearly they were wrong about that, but this is the life of a quote-unquote insider. If they get one thing right, well, then after that, they can simply claim whatever they want and get attention without the repercussion of accountability. It's the same thing that I always say about people like Nash Weedle. He got one thing right, and ever since then, he throws stuff at the wall in the hopes that something will stick, but more often than not, he's wrong. I mean, is anybody talking about last month's big general Nintendo Direct? Yeah, I didn't think so. But do people learn from that? No. They just spread the next rumor that he claims online, and then a few weeks later, when he's wrong again, everybody moves on to the next thing. And that is a serious flaw with how the game community and gaming news operates. It's always to spread questionable rumors because it gets clicks. And then when nothing happens, nobody holds anybody accountable. Now, to be fair, there are certain insiders that I think are absolutely legitimate, and that's because they have proven themselves over and over again, whether that be somebody like Jason Schreier, Nate the Hate, Jez Corden, Jeff Grubb, Tom Warren, and a few others. But until this weekend, most people probably weren't even aware who Sneaker So is. But did that stop the latest Xbox rumors from exploding online? No, it did not. And here's a quick summary of what this person claimed online. They said that the new Xbox CEO, Asha Sharma, cannot cancel Project Helix due to high R&D cost already spent. It will be very expensive and it's made for a very niche audience. It is a PC that uses the Windows full screen experience. Developers are making games for Windows Store now. There is no native operating system. It is now Microsoft's universal Windows platform. Native Xbox versions are done. Access to your Xbox library of games maintained through backwards compatibility. Essentially the final nail in the coffin to wrap up the hardware business. Exclusives are absolutely not happening. And let me just go and say something about the exclusives part, because I know that's what a lot of people have been zeroing in on. I highly doubt anybody has the information about their plans for exclusivity this early on. And that's because I imagine they are probably still having discussions about exclusives at Team Xbox meetings, but I doubt that Asha Sharma herself has come to any kind of decision in that amount of time. But don't listen to me, maybe instead listen to Tom Warren, a person that is actually vetted for his inside information. And this is what he said about Sneaker So. He basically said that his information was correct about Project Latitude a few years ago, but clearly he knows very little about the rest of Xbox. So there you go. I mean, you can believe what you want at the end of the day, but I would be a little bit cautious, and I'll just leave it at that. As always, though, once we get real information, good or bad, of course, I'll keep you up to date. And speaking of that, we actually got some real information regarding Xbox, and that is from an internal Q&A about Xbox with Satya Nadella. Now, over the weekend, there was a rumor floating around that he basically said that he was going to give Asha Sharma a blank check to do whatever is possible to revive the Xbox brand and to bring it back better than ever. However, that rumor was not true, or at least exactly. Both Tom Warren and Jez Corden have since clarified what was actually said, and there was some similarities. Jez did mention that the original rumor was likely a mistranslation, but Satya Nadella did give Xbox his full backing. He showed up with an Xbox hoodie on, and both Jez and Tom said that he basically gave Xbox his full backing and mentioned things like how Microsoft will always invest into Xbox. Yeah, it doesn't exactly seem like a dying brand, as some people want to throw around online. You know, Xbox has died like 10 times, I swear, but, nonetheless. But what I will say is that when it comes to Satya Nadella, I don't know how much I actually trust him. I mean, I would like to believe that Satya Nadella and Asha Sharma will, revive Xbox back to their former glory, but for me, I need to see actions. It can't just be words, because I think for Xbox fans, they've been sold a lot of promises and a lot of pretty words over the years, and it always feels like Xbox's strategy changes by the day. Now, Asha Sharma has been saying a lot of the right things, and Satya Nadella also said a lot of the right things here. So their words are very convincing right now, but those are only words until they actually commit to something. And right now, I don't think that anybody knows for 100% certainty what their plans actually are. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if Asha Sharma knows what their plans are going to be, or at least yet. I think right now she's gathering information, she's gathering data, she's seeing how fans are reacting to things, and she's probably talking to a lot of the Xbox team to get their opinions and what they know as well. I mean, all that takes time, but ultimately, I think it's kind of a wait-and-see approach. We need to see what her strategy is and what she has planned for this next upcoming console, what she has planned for their upcoming games. There's a lot of things that we don't know, and I want to see that through her actions and not necessarily through words that we hear from this place or that place. I think the days of words are kind of over for Xbox. I think that they really need to put up or shut up. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode. But until next time, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and peace out.